So, over the past 10 months, music has been my primary resource in learning another language. And I've taken my Spanish from this
Hablando contigo todo el tiempo.
all the way to this, having conversations with native speakers after only 10 months of learning.
Hoy estoy trabajando en un nuevo video para mi canal. Sí, cómo aprender una lengua o idioma con música, bro.
Tú aprendes idioma con toda cosa, tú aprendes con Facebook, Instagram.
Sí, bro, con todo.
Falta también con WhatsApp, bro.
Sí, WhatsApp, sí, siguiente WhatsApp, bro.
No, ya no.
Also, shout out my boy Albieri, the guy I was having the phone call with. One of the coolest dudes I have ever met. So happy that I met him. Anyway, jumping right into the video. A lot of people say listen to music to learn another language, but they don't really give you the steps and they just say just listen to the music. That's not how you're supposed to do it. And with the ways I've kind of figured out and what I do, it's made it a lot easier for me to actually learn words and use them in real conversation. So there's going to be a lot of methods in this video. It's quite in-depth, but it's going to be the best way and the best video on how to learn a language with music. So I really recommend you stay to the very end. So the first method that I like to use is translating the songs from your target language into your native language. Now this just isn't a casual, just translate it. I'll go into how I actually do it. So let me take you into my office. So when I print off the lyrics to the song I want to study, I have two of them right here. This one's a little damaged from accidentally jamming the printer. But anyway, I'll have one of the sets of the lyrics here, which I'll try to translate on my own without looking anything up. And then here will be the one that I will, if I need to, look up words and translate it completely correct. This one is good because it tries to see how much I actually know. And then I use this one for my reference for when I'm actually looking at the song. Now, if you don't have a printer, that is completely fine. What you can do is look up the lyrics online and then grab a notebook or a piece of paper and then translate the song once on your own and the second time with help from translators online. Then by doing this, once you have translated the song in your own attempt and then actually went in and corrected your mistakes, you'll have quite an understanding of how the song actually works. And then what you can do is once you have the sentences that are useful in your target language, you can make little sentences out of them. I like to do this all the time. There will be songs by Bad Bunny that I like because I am learning Spanish. And for example, it would say, ¿Qué vas a hacer hoy in the song? And that means, what are you going to do today? And then so I could write an example sentence and be like, Hola madre. Hi mom. ¿Qué vas a hacer hoy? And it just kind of comes into regular conversation. And once you hear that song over and over again and you really understand it, you're able to use those lyrics in everyday conversation. Because songs are words that people use in every day. It's just not like textbooks where sometimes you would never hear that word ever. Now, what I like to do to get my pronunciation good for me in Spanish, I'm trying to learn with kind of more of a Dominican flow, Puerto Rican flow, because I like the music they have. And one of my best friends lives in the Dominican Republic. So when I want to go visit him, I want to be able to understand the accent and speak somewhat with the accent. Well, then what I'll do is I'll read them over and over again while I'm listening to the song. I'll read them out loud. Like I'll show you an example of me doing this. Si te quieres divertir con encanto y con primor, solo tienes que vivir un verano Nueva York. Now, obviously, there's a reason why Bad Bunny is a famous singer and I'm not, but this method is actually super helpful. For me, I want to kind of learn with that Puerto Rican Dominican accent. Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico, so I listen to his music and try to replicate his accent, then saying these songs out loud over and over again. And it might sound silly at first, but you'll eventually start to learn the accent and it becomes really, really helpful. I have learned how to pronounce a lot of different words through music doing this method, and it has been great for my pronunciation gains and overall Spanish gains in general. Now, for example, if you're learning French and you wanted to learn Quebecois French, for example, the French of the Canadians, you could then listen to French Canadian music, do the same method, and then what you could do is just repeat the songs out loud with that accent, and over time start to learn the accent and learn how they pronounce the words. It's honestly such an underrated method, and you guys should really be using it. Now, my next method is pretty chill. Just find genres of music that you like and you find enjoyable and listen to them. This will help you a lot in general as well. You may not progress as fast as you would have using the write down method and then repeating the words, but if you listen to the same song over and over and over again, or if you find a genre of music that you really like, you'll hear those words over and over again. And when you hear people speaking, or when you're watching TV, or when you're doing anything else in public, you'll hear that word and you'll be like, what does that mean? I hear it all the time. If someone explains it to you, or then you figure it out through context, you'll now have that word locked into your mind, and you'll have the pronunciation in your mind, and you'll always know what that word means. For me, all the time when I'm listening to music, I'll just be casually listening in the car while I'm working, all these different things, and I'll hear words over and over again. I'll be like, I wonder what that means. So when I get to the destination I need to go to after driving, I'll get out of the car and I'll look up what that word is. And then all of a sudden that word is locked in my mind. And guys, music is so much more entertaining to listen to than a podcast or maybe a boring TV show. So you're going to stay consistent and you're going to find artists, and it's going to be really, really helpful. Now, this next method that has been super helpful for me, and it's actually motivated me even more to learn Spanish, is getting into the culture of the music and the artists who make the songs. Now, me and one of my friends have gotten really into the culture of Spanish music, and it's made me get more into all of these songs and want to learn every single one of them. And I didn't have that before. Like, sure, I thought the songs were fun, but now I'm like super into it. And it's been progressing my Spanish even more. When the new Bad Bunny album came out, I became almost obsessed with trying to learn every single song just to make sure that I knew what the lyrics meant and that I could sing them all in the car. Next way I use music to learn another language is I try to understand the culture behind it. Now, the same way for English, we have many different types of music. The music in the UK is different than the music in Canada, that is different from the music in the United States. There's country music, there's pop music, there's rap music, there's UK rap music. What I'm trying to say is there's many different genres of music with different cultures behind it. So what you can do, instead of getting into the drama like the last method, is you can try to understand the cultural significance of the music. I love seeing, like, for example, Mexican music. I'll look it up and I'll look up the history of the big artists in the past, in the 90s, and I'll read articles and watch YouTube videos only in my target language. And if you want to do the same for French or German or Russian, you could do that and look at articles and videos in your target language explaining the cultural significance of the music. Because for me, another example with Bad Bunny, when his new album came out, it was more focused to the Puerto Ricans. It was more focused on Puerto Rican music for everybody, and it had a lot of history of Puerto Rico that I did not know. So through listening to the album and listening to a bunch of these songs, I started looking up videos about the history of Puerto Rico and the history behind some of these songs. In doing so, I learned a lot about the culture and the history, and also I learned a lot of different words. Got a ton of listening practice because I was into this on my own, but I was also learning Spanish while deep diving into all of these articles and watching all of these old interviews and history videos on the culture and old artists in the past. It's like you unlock a brand new world, and it's so much fun. And my last method is another method you can use with your sheet of the lyrics. What you can do is hide the lyrics while you're listening to the song and try to recite them in certain moments. You can make it kind of a game. You're reading, then all of a sudden you put your hand over the lyrics, and then you're like, okay, what comes next? This helps you memorize songs, so then you're able to recall the lyrics and sing along with the songs and remember the lyrics, and then you'll also be memorizing the words and also be memorizing them in context and have the ability to understand the pronunciation and the words. All right, guys, that's the video. I really hope you enjoyed. Music has become the most effective way and the tool I use most often to learn another language. And with these methods, you can use music to help you learn another language. Guys, I also have a ton of other videos on fun and unconventional ways to help you learn another language. Also, guys, I have been grinding out on this channel on videos for you on showing you how I use fun, unconventional ways to help learn another language, because I don't like the conventional ways of studying and these university and high school classes where you don't really learn much. If you actually want to learn a language and speak like natives do in a fun and effective way, take a look at my other videos on the channel. And if you're still here, you might as well hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next video.